Good morning, students. Today we will have to discuss the filtration of blood or urine formation. In previous classes, we have discussed that what is the structure of the kidney, what is the structure of the nephron, what happens in nephron, and where this particular urine is formed. Just we have discussed that the nephron have a Bowman's capsule and afferent arteriole insert inside it, and they will divide it into 2 or 3 or 4 parts and ultimately combine with it to form efferent artery. What happens here? It has been observed due to the certain pressure, due to the certain permeability, what happens? The blood become filtered and filtrate will accumulated here, and this process is called glomerular filtration. During this process, what happens? Most of the nitrogenous waste will come here, like in form of urea. But in addition of urea, maximum amount of water, glucose, minerals, and other useful substances are also filtered, and it start to move in this way. Start to move in this way. You know that it is collecting duct. And that collecting duct ultimately open into the renal pyramid, and from there to the ureter through minor calyx, major calyx, etc. This is the route of this particular filtrate. But it is a matter of surprise that one kidney, both of the kidney filter, the rate of the amount or the quantity of the filtrate is 180 liters. 180 liters, and only 1 to 1.5 liters of the urine is passed per day. But their product is 180 liters. Because the continuous flow of the blood is here and the filtrate will move from it. So what happens about that other quantity of the filtrate? The second phase is the glomerular, after the glomerular filtration, that is called reabsorption. Reabsorption. Just we have seen that this particular is divided into many more renal capillaries, and that renal capillaries come in contact, very much close contact with this particular proximal convoluted tubule, and ultimately that is called loop of Henle, and to the distal convoluted tubule, and to this particular part like this one, and ultimately come here and join to form renal vein. That is renal vein. This is the structure of this one. Now what is significance of this particular division of the efferent arteriole? It is nothing but the movement of the filtrate from this to this. Different part. To prevent the loss of water, to prevent the loss of glucose, to prevent the loss of minerals. Here we are studying the filtration of the blood. It means the kidney is the blood filtrating device. Kidney is the blood filtrating device, as well as it is osmoregulator. Osmoregulator. It means they are also responsible for the maintain the osmotic pressure of the body also. It means blood filtrating as well as osmoregulating. So if the salt and the water will be lost, then what happens? Our body become dehydrated. So to prevent us from the dehydration, the osmoregulation will be takes place by this particular. So we will discuss it. Now after reabsorption, the tubular secretion is also being take place. Now with the help of figure, we will discuss that where the substance will be reabsorbed and what happens if the reabsorption is up to mark, and if the reabsorption is not up to mark, then what happens? We will discuss that. There are two hormones. One that is ADH, that is called antidiuretic hormone. It is also called vasopressin. It has been observed if the blood, the quantity of the blood, the concentration of the water and salt inside the blood, after passing from the DCT is not up to mark, or after passing from the loop of Henle, it is not up to mark, then what happens? The signal will go to pituitary to release ADH. Previously it has been observed that this particular valve, means the valve of the DCT and valve of the collecting duct, is impermeable for the water, for the others. But whenever the ADH release, it converts impermeable to permeable and the water start to move inside it, salt start to move inside it to maintain the osmotic pressure. The same thing will take place in the case. It has been observed that juxtaglomerular apparatus is present, and that juxtaglomerular apparatus is also responsible for the detecting the concentration of the blood, and if that is not up to mark, then they ordered the kidney to release renin, and this renin is responsible to maintain the RAAS. It means renin angiotensinogen aldosterone system. They are also responsible for the maintaining the osmotic pressure of the body. So both this particular ADH and RAS, renin, are responsible for the maintaining the osmotic. So kidney is also called osmoregulator. Now where this particular water, where the glucose, where the minerals are moved from the filtrate to the blood, we will discuss. Here you have seen that this one is the Bowman's capsule, and the afferent is coming here and efferent is going from this one. It means the filtrate is moving from this part. Filtrate. Here we see that the H2O, ammonia, bicarbonate, calcium moved from this part and ultimately go into the blood capillaries. When the filtrate is just moving here in the, this is the descending limb of the loop of Fresnel and this one is the ascending limb of the loop of Fresnel, then water is also being come from this one. But in this case, that is the in the descending limbs, the NaCl come out and the movement of the water is totally depend upon the concentration of NaCl. If you can compare here that the filtrate is coming from this one, here you will see that the water and salt also move from it. It means what happens, due to the elimination of the water, this filtrate become hypertonic. Here depend upon this NaCl. The concentration of NaCl is outside greater, then the water movement will be there and again it become the hypertonic. But in this limb, this particular filtrate is hypotonic due to release of the NaCl. Here, in this condition you will see that the NaCl, H2O, H3, but these all are depend upon the concentration of ADH. So here we will see that the different components of the filtrate will move or leave that particular part of the nephron and go into the blood.